Oh my gosh, guys. Oh man. I'm so sorry for how late this video has been. I've just been so busy with Spider-Man and then went straight into doing our Rocky reviews with me and my dad. So I'm sorry for the absurd lateness of this review because it's coming out in December. I apologize. But holy crap, I really love this season. Oh my gosh, this is season 2 was great. I love season 2, but this is reminds me of why I love Daredevil. This is taking me back to season 1. Of the foundation of Daredevil is him up against Wilson Fisk. I'm just ecstatic. I'm so excited. I love it, and I'm excited to talk about it. So I'm gonna get straight into my thoughts on Daredevil season 3. With the first thing I want to talk about, which is that the first few episodes, okay, when Daredevil somehow gets out from under that building that exploded on top of him, with him and Elektra, and then finds his way back to Hell's Kitchen, to the church that he apparently grew up in. Um, Now that's not actually what I found interesting. You know, him surviving and getting out there and being taken care of. It's what happens after that. Okay, the aftermath of that epic event back in the Defenders. What I found interesting is his recovery. Okay, because we saw him walking around the church and occasionally the city, and you know he didn't seem to be getting better at all, and then eventually he gets better, right? But then goes back to being worse again. Um, I don't know. It was just this back and forth thing of like, okay, he's getting better, but no, he's getting worse, and then now he's getting better, and just like I was unsure. I was so unsure of whether or not he was actually going to recover to do what he needed to do and come back. But also another thing that I don't know led into that my idea of not knowing whether he was going to make it or not is the fact that he not only gave up as being Daredevil, which happened before, but this time he's given up. He did at the beginning give up on God. Now he is a man of faith, right? So do like there's given up on Daredevil, and then there's given up on God. That's the next step up of like this guy he's lost. Okay, so I think they did a really good job of showing such a great man and hero at his lowest point. This season, our heroes, male or female, are at their lowest. This season, I'm so glad that we actually got to learn a lot more about these characters than we did in previous seasons. Which brings me to my second point, which is that I am so happy how much more this season explores Foggy and Karen. Okay, because with Foggy, we got to see his family and we got to see the meat shop that he referenced in season 1, right? So we got to see a bit more of his personal life, right? Which I was happy to see. But what I was like, thank God in this season is I finally got an answer to the question that I've had since season 1. What the hell happened to Karen and her brother? Okay, this season there's like a half an episode, or a majority of an episode that just goes straight into this thing, because it's been referenced before, and I think Ellison referenced it once before in season 2, I think. Um, I don't know, and it's been racking my brain ever since season 1 or season 2. But it's been a long time since those seasons, and now we finally get an answer as to what happened, and between them, right? You know, the accident and all that. And when I said before that I'm so happy that this show reveals more or explores more of these characters, what I really meant is, like I said, thank God that I finally got an answer to that question that's been rattling on my brain. Anyway, one thing that I can't do in this review is not mention Bullseye. Now, he's not actually Bullseye in this season yet, okay? I think that's something that they're saving for next season. Uh, but I really liked him, okay? Trust me, I've seen the 2003 version. This is a much better incarnation of the character. Personally, I don't actually know that much about the character. I mean, I saw that movie a fair while ago, and I've since forgotten a lot of it because it was I mean, if you've heard about it, it is truly as bad as you've heard. But this is a great incarnation of the character. And a huge step up from that version. And one thing I'd like to add is that when I saw the trailer for this season, I saw him. I didn't know it was him at the time, but when I saw this fake Daredevil in the trailer, now knowing that it's him, I didn't know if it was gonna work or not. I honestly did not know. Um, but it worked. It really did work. Boy, did it work, man. I don't know. It's just when he walked onto camera as Daredevil, as the fake Daredevil, I just knew some shit was gonna go down, and because of that very awesome fight between the real Daredevil and fake Daredevil being Dex. Um, I just gotta add, there are some fucking great fights in this. I mean, there's great fights in all of Daredevil, but this season, I mean, they're not letting up. Daredevil is still strong. It's still a massively awesome, very, very, very good show. I cannot stress that enough. So as strong as this show is, and as good as this season was, I do have one problem with it, okay? And it has to do with one Agent Nadeem, okay? The character Agent Nadeem was fine, okay? I did care about him eventually, okay? But I think how he was introduced into the season could have been done way better than what it was, okay? Because how his story in this season starts off, really, is in the first episode, the last 10 or 15 minutes or so, is just cutting to him at home in his personal life with his family and whatever, and whatnot. But when it cuts to them, I didn't know who the hell he was. Okay, and it tries to, like, he pulls out a gun and there's like this mysterious background music. It's like, is he a bad guy? No, he's just an FBI agent. Whoop-de-doo, okay? I didn't like how they brought him into the show, okay? Now, I usually don't like to compare, but take Punisher, for example. In that show, the FBI agent in that show, I forgot her name. Anyway, she was introduced as an FBI agent, going to work, doing her job, okay? And then we got to know her a bit more personally. I think if they were to have done something along those lines with Nadeem, I would have cared about him a lot more. But the way they did it in this, I don't know. I thought it could have been done very, very differently. One final thought to end this possibly long review is that Wilson Fisk is awesome. Oh my gosh, man. This is what I was saying at the beginning of the review. This season is like, it returns to what made Daredevil so great in the first season, okay? Man, Wilson Fisk is so good, and he is Daredevil's true enemy, okay? I mean, Daredevil has had some pretty tough opponents and will have some pretty tough opponents in the future, but you know Wilson Fisk, Willie, yeah, that's what they call him. He will be Matt's toughest opponent and true adversary, because by the end of this season, when the real Daredevil and Fisk have that fight, it just, I don't know, I really felt it. Like the scream when they're screaming at each other, and it's like, it might have come off corny, but when I was watching, I was like, nah, man, I understand it. I get it. These guys, there is history here, and they want to fucking kill each other, okay? So, I don't know. That's all I have to say on this season. It is so good. There's so much more to discover in this show if you haven't seen it. So hopefully I haven't spoiled too much of it. But hang on, wait, what? They cancelled it? Fuck me.